When the stock market is as turbulent as it is today, everyone is looking for a relatively speaking safe haven for their money. And while no one can predict the future, there are some steps you can take to mitigate some financial risk. In this video, I will discuss 5 investments you can make that could net you a decent return or at least give you some peace of mind in the future. First off, you need an emergency fund. If you don't already have one, it is really important to start building one today. In case something happens, like you get sick or unemployed or worse, it is very useful to have some extra cash lying around for such an occasion, so that you do not have to sell other investments while the timing might not be ideal. If you had bought a stock at the end of last year and needed the money today, it would be quite the bummer to have to sell it today at a 20% or more loss. About the size of an emergency fund is a lot of debate, but at least 3 months of living expenses, and if you want to be on the safer side, 6 months. The most obvious place to put this emergency fund is on a savings account with a, as high as can be these days, high interest rate. While over the years you will still probably lose some purchasing power due to the low interest rates of today not offsetting the costs of inflation, it is still the most easy and useful way of stashing away your emergency fund. But if you really want to stuff it in a sock under the mattress, that is up to you. Secondly, with a lot of the population around the world staying at home now, it is normal for stocks to drop. And this is perfectly normal. Businesses are no longer completely or fully operational due to the current crisis. So obviously they will get less profits in return, and that means a lower stock price. But if you want to have an investment over a longer period, there still are a lot of stocks worth buying. I have discussed this already in another video. You can check it out through the link below. However, there are still stocks and certain sectors that might be worth buying in the long term, and that could hold their value better than others that are more impacted from the recent events. And you do not have to look very far to find them. Because what are the 3 things everyone will need while sitting at home? Of course, food, electricity, and Netflix or water. While not a complete guarantee to not lose money, these utility companies, even if their income is lower than usual, should lose less than most due to the current crisis. And even if they do tank with the rest, should rebound better afterwards if they do. Another option might be certain tech stocks that have great software that people can use to work from home. While a slightly riskier investment, they will benefit the most from the current climate, since most companies that still want to operate are forced to take major leaps in digital working if they haven't already. Thus, for these tech stocks, it is a great time to penetrate the markets further and spread their software to every business corner available. As always, if you do decide to invest in stocks right now, do your own due diligence and research. Up next, we have gold. For me, it is a tough one to recommend, but it gets thrown around a lot as a quote, safe investment. And it does have some advantages to have it in your portfolio. However, it requires more nuance than simply stating it is a safe investment. I will first talk about the reasons why I'm not overly fond of the shiny metal. A marginally amount is used every year in electronics where it is a good conductor for electricity, and the rest, for the most part, is used for the production of jewelry. Apart from those relatively speaking good use cases of the metal, the rest just gets dug out of the ground, melted into bars, to then shove it in a vault with the thought that it will become more valuable as time goes on. And this definitely used to be the case when countries were still on the gold standard and you could go to the bank and ask for your money's worth in gold. Today, however, this is no longer the case, and thus the price of the metal is decided mostly by the rarity and scarcity of it, and the thought that it is actually worth something. However, the same can be said about all paper currencies today, or even cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. The only thing that determines its value is the perceived scarcity of the currency. And it is because of this rarity that it might not be a bad idea to invest a small portion of your portfolio into a safer and stable commodity like gold. Over a longer time span of at least 10 years, gold has provided investors with a decent return on their investment. This is especially so during a time of crisis where people flock to the shiny metal. And this is also the reason that in a lot of privately held funds, a small portion of usually about 5% of the portfolio is invested in gold. This to use it as a hedge in case the economy takes a downturn. The same argument can be made for Bitcoin since it is also hailed as a digital gold coin. But this currency is currently much less stable than gold. I will not discuss it further in this video since it requires a video of its own. Fourth, and this is without a doubt the most important investment you can make right now, and that is hitting the like button and leaving a comment below to brighten my day. Because putting a smile on someone's face is the best long-term investment. But all jokes aside, I want to talk about investing in you. Yes, investing in yourself. Chances are you are sitting at home right now with more time on your hands than you know what to do with. Now, of course, you can binge watch the entirety of Netflix, or you can mix it up with something productive. Why not learn a new skill or language that you've always wanted to learn? Or start reading more? Or finally start a business that you've been thinking about? Or maybe learn how to cook really cheap and delicious healthy meals. The latter might save you a ton of money in the long run. And I can already hear some people saying, but what if I don't have the money available right now to invest in a business or project? And while you might tell yourself that, this is utter nonsense. Since there are other important factors to consider besides money. In the world of investing, and even in general to everything you want to achieve in life, we can narrow these down to just 3. And these are time, energy, and money, and are best showed using a simple triangle. To clarify a little. Time and money combined is, for example, investing in the stock market. It requires low effort and can give you some great returns over a longer period. But you do need a larger amount of money. Starting a business with next to no money will take a lot of energy and time to learn the necessary skills, but might give a great return on your investment. Even if this is not directly a monetary return. A new skill you picked up, for example, might grant you a promotion in the future, or just improve your general well-being. And if you have a lot of energy to start a project and a lot of money lying around, but no time, then you can just hire someone else or a team to do it for you. But for most of us, this will obviously rarely be the case. You can use this simple method to check for yourself whether or not a new project or endeavor is achievable. To do this, you need to check for yourself how much of each of these inputs you need for your project and if this is realistic or not. For example, learning to play the piano without the money to buy one probably isn't very realistic. To sum everything up, today with the unlimited resource that is the internet at your disposal, time in abundance and enough energy or drive to go for it, you can do it without making any excuses. And now especially is the time to do so. So invest in yourself first, you never know what you might learn or potentially even earn. To conclude this video, there are still interesting buying opportunities available to us, even as the markets went down and most of us are stuck inside our homes. However, the most important thing we can do right now is to not let boredom overcome us, because most of us tend to spend more money on things we do not need when we are bored. I am personally also guilty of doing this. Just fight the urge to buy stuff you don't need, and save up or invest the money you would otherwise spend on this useless stuff that you are probably never going to use anyway. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please leave a comment and hit the subscribe button for more personal finance videos in the future. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep your distance.